Baby, you out here bullying bullies. Prophetic word. Listen, have you ever wondered why people always targeted you? It's because you were a mirror to them. You made them feel what they already was feeling. Like once you came around, all of a sudden they was feeling fear. But that's because they lived in fear. See, a lot of these people grew up in households where they were not safe emotionally. See, they were not safe physically either because they probably had a parent who, every time they did something that they didn't like, instead of talking to them, they hit them. Or maybe they had, siblings who were bullies, right? And so you come around and it's just something about you. They don't know, but they petrified. And so they start picking on you. They start bullying you, right? Until they realize, like, man, he cool. She cool. Like, she ain't even what I thought she was. But in that same realization, you started to defend yourself. You started to act like them by feeling the need to protect yourself, right? You were literally operating out of survival. And this is the thing. See, a lot of people, majority, start in survival mode because your upbringing wasn't safe. It wasn't safe. And that could have been at school or in the household or in the community. It was just not safe. So you were operating out of survival. And when you're operating out of survival, that is victimhood, that is fear, that's bondage, that's all of these low vibrational energies that are attached to you. See? So, what happens when you finally realize that I'm a loving person? Like, I want the best for people. Like, when you start realizing how much good you put out into the world and you start to figure out, like, why the good ain't coming back to you, when you realize it has a lot to do with the people that you're investing the good into and your detachment from yourself, this is when you begin to level up. This is when you begin to remember who you are. See, I always tell you guys, this life is not about learning. It's about unlearning. Unlearning so you can remember who you are. See, God already said that he created you. God created you for abundance. He created you so that you could be a lender, not a borrower. He literally created you and know everything about you. Like, come on now, the hairs on your head are counted. Like, you got to really consider that God knows you and God said that you're supposed to live an abundant life. So when you think about not living that life, always in survival, always worrying about how you're going to pay this, how you're going to do this, needing peace, like not operating from the fruits of the spirit, not be able to have long suffering, right? Not being in peace, right? Not being joyful, not loving people without condition. When you realize you're not operating in the totality that God created you in, you have to begin to question why. It is because you are not truly tapped into who you are. You have not remembered who you are. You are walking in who this world says you are. See, the world tells you that you have to have certain things in order to be valuable, you see. And that is the reason why these people picked on you and was bullying you, because they looked at what you had and start to compare themselves to you to make them feel like they were more valuable than you. So this is why they treated you the way that they treated you. But see, how you out here bullying bullies is because now you realize that what you had all this time was something that the world couldn't see. It's something that they never imagined that you would have. They never imagined that you, who, hallelujah, that you would be the golden child. They never imagined that you would be the chosen one. They never imagined that you would be the one that they had to look up to. See, and it's so hard. You're blind in their eyes because you are the one that they look down on. And they look down on you so far, like deep. Is this stuff go deep, how bad they looked bad on you and the things that they tried to do to you and what they've said about you. See, nothing returns back void. And because it doesn't return back void, this is how the bullying is starting, because they're reaping the error of their ways. See, the karma of their ways. And this is the reason. See, because it never was really about you, it was about the God in you. See, he said, before he formed you in his mother womb, he knew you, he ordained you, he sanctified you. Okay? God already created you for a purpose. And see, when you realize that you were a good person, when you realize that the reason why your life was stagnant was because of the people that you were attached to, and because you were being betraying yourself, because you wasn't loving yourself, because you wasn't really truly edifying yourself, because you wasn't allowing yourself to grow in who God created you to be, regardless to if it was different from who they were, regardless to if you had to go the long route, regardless to if people was going to be laughing at you, pointing their finger at you, regardless to if people didn't like when you spoke the truth. When you realize that this was what you had to do because your purpose was pulling you. Because when he created you before the foundation of this world is pulling you. When you realize that, baby, see, that's when everything inside of you begin to align. See, and if you're in this alignment season, what you got to realize, that's the reason why you're feeling the pull, because you are aligning. See, that's the reason why you're feeling the pressure, because you are aligning. You are aligning to who God says you are. The idea and the picture that you have in your head that you think that you are, that may not be aligned with who God said you are. And this is the reason why you're going through so much friction, because you have to go back to your natural state. See? Everybody goes back to their natural state. We got to stop looking. There's a time to be birthed. There's a time to die. In the middle is what we're all living right now. No one knows their end date. We know the beginning until we got into the earthly realm, but we don't know the thoughts that God had before he formed us in our mother womb. See, he says his thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. See, as you condition yourself to unlearn all of the things of this world, you begin to hear from God, and you begin to understand what it means to be born again. See, what it means to be born again, what it to be means to be in the world but not of the world, what it means not to be attached to anything. You love your kids, but are you attached to them? See, you're not their God. See, they all have God inside of them, and you have to connect to the God in you in order to live your true purpose, and which is authenticity. In order to be truly authentic, see? In order to be truly authentic, you can't be worried about what other people going to say, how other people going to perceive you, how other people feel about you. Yeah, sometimes it hurts. Yeah, sometimes it's uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, you in the world, but you're not of the world. You are a spirit having a human experience. So this is how you're bullying bullies, because you speak in truth. You see? When you are light showing up in darkness, darkness gets exposed. And when darkness gets exposed, it either disseminates or it gets fear, but you got to or it gets you got to fearful. Yeah, because you got to understand that energy cannot be destroyed. It only could be transferred. So when the light shows up on the darkness, it scatters, right? That it tries to leave, but it cannot be destroyed. It has to deal. It's like reincarnation. It has to deal with itself. It has to deal with itself. And that's what you're forcing these people to do. Deal with themselves. See, once you deal with yourself, you force everybody else to deal with themselves, or they got to get away from you. And they going to keep on watching you. They going to keep on wanting to be around you. They're going to keep on. Why? Because they're inspired. They're learning. They don't want to be in darkness no more. They don't want to be in darkness no more. And that's the whole purpose. God don't want them to be in darkness no more either. See, this is when you start praying for your enemies. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's how you know you heal, when you can pray for people. And if you got hate in your heart towards anybody, pray for them. Pray for them. Pray for them. And that's how you're going to heal yourself. I'm trying to tell you. If you get to the end of this message, go ahead and type that you got to the end, because this is a 9-minute message. That tells me that God is doing something amazing in your life. All right, go ahead and repost it. Somebody else needs to hear it, okay? Type in the comments, I am changing. Type in the comments, I'm a multi-millionaire. Type in the comments that God is doing amazing things. But until next time, y'all better stay in peace and not in pieces. Peace. I love y'all.